food is like my biggest struggle financially and kind of health wise, because I've been like going fucking hard with exercise and like I feel really great, but it's hard to eat healthy cheaply for me. Obviously, like, you know, it's not necessarily expensive to just like eat fresh fruits and vegetables.
Yeah.
But like I am all for like fucking convenience. And like you know, and so much of like my paycheck goes towards that shit. Like if I'm like out on, you know, cuz like I'm
you
driving
have the same fucking problem as me, I'm sure.
I'm driving all around like for work and I'm just like, all right, I'm going to stop at this Big Y and just get like a packaged salad.
Yeah.
Which is like it's an objectively healthy thing, but like it's like $7.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, I buy one of those big tubs of greens and I bring some greens into lunch. The good thing about being a teacher is I can't just like leave and go to Wendy's. I guess I could, but it's like time is so limited that I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
It's my whole break.
Yeah. I mean, that's like the firehouse.
And I always look forward to going to fucking Cumbies.
Yeah.
And since I've been trying to eat healthier, normally at Cumbies I would get like a fucking roller or like a breakfast sandwich. Now I just get one of the little it's like a tins of like overnight oats. And it's good as shit.
Yeah.
The brekkie. You ever had the brekkie?
Yeah.
How do you feel about the eggs? Well, you know, you won't like this.
I 100% eat like fucked up gas station
Dude,
eggs.
I love gas station
like
eggs so much, brother. Dude, they're
gas
sick.
Station sandwich.
Oh, dude, the gas station eggs, though, are so sick because they definitely have like vinegar or something on them to help preserve it, too. So it just tastes so good. Dude, I also love a pickled egg.
I don't know if I've ever had a pickled egg.
Oh, they're fucking
I've had
great.
What was it, like the tea eggs or whatever or something?
Oh, I don't know.
Japanese ones.
Oh,
they're
yeah.
Instead of boiled in water, they're boiled in...
Is it tea? I thought it was like soy sauce or something.
Oh, yeah,
like that.
maybe that's what it is.
Yeah, dude, delicious. Welcome to Hive Scum, the podcast for that 28 community.
The 28 dieting community.
The 28 community plus we talk.
We're all
about
working on our summer.
eggs.
We're working on our beach bods.
Yeah,
everybody.
man. Winter's been good. You know, we're cracking 0 calorie.
What's funny over the winter, I was eating those factor meals, which is literally the exact same thing. Like I was eating like healthy, you know, like whatever you call it, but it's spending like $100 a week on meals.
Listen, bro, if they made, first of all, if they made a vegan one,
they do.
Yeah, but they suck.
They suck. Yeah.
They suck ass.
I tried a couple of them.
But even like to what we were saying earlier, like probably pre-recording, the act of cooking is such a time waste to me. Dude, if I could get away with like a pill,
yeah, well,
that's the future.
a pill.
So to me,
That's
the thing is like it's you know it's just really like depressing bachelor shit. It's like I fucking spend like 20 minutes, 30 minutes cooking something, and I'm just eating it by myself, and I'm just like done in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, you know,
great.
So like meal prepping is like definitely a big thing, but you know, it would definitely be a lot easier if I had a different kitchen situation to meal prep.
Yeah, I mean, I love cooking, but that's just because
I have in the past loved cooking, loved grilling.
Yeah. Oh, you know, I remember you going hard on meal preps at one point or another.
Yeah.
Just like
for some reason, when I lived in New Britain, I cooked a lot more.
Yeah.
But now I have more roommates.
Yeah.
More people trying to share the...
You may have had more room in that New Britain kitchen, too, to work around.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that makes such a difference.
That apartment.
Just having space is nice. Dude, tight kitchens, there's nothing worse than a tight kitchen where you can't just like spread out all your shit.
Did you ever go to my apartment in New Haven?
I did, but I don't remember seeing the kitchen.
It was like one of those things like when you where it had the geometry of the layout of like the apartment unit makes no sense. Like the kitchen was so you had to walk through the bathroom had 2 doors and you had to walk through the bathroom to get to the living room.
Yeah, I do remember that. And it was a tight little living room, too.
Oh, yeah.
It was a real tiny little living room.
This is a really fucked up apartment.
Yeah, it really was. Wasn't there something with the sunroof or something?
Yeah, they redid the roof of the apartment, and we had a sun window or a skylight in the bathroom, and that was the only ventilation.
Oh, yeah.
And they redid the roof. They just like covered it up with a piece of plywood.
There's just no ventilation anymore.
I had to like look up like the state laws and send it to the fucking property management company and be like, you have to have like some kind of ventilation in the bathroom.
Yeah. That's amazing. Anyways, my name is Terry. I'm stone.jaw on Instagram, although I'm not really much on Instagram these days.
Yeah, me neither. I'm Phil at Blood Transfusion.
Yeah, we're off it, baby.
I'm Steve at South of Heaven.
And I'm Gage at No Clear Coat.
We're back for another exciting episode of Hive Scum. Sorry about all the lettuce talk, people.
We love our leafy greens.
Yeah, we do.
We love our roughage.
Yeah.
Scraping our intestines clean.
Dude, speaking of which, Steve, you might be in on this. I'm digging into the garden. I've never been a gardener.
Oh, I don't
per
give a
se.
shit about the garden.
You don't like garden shits?
I don't know how to fucking garden. I
Dude.
know the basic concept of it, and I like guided Haley to starting the garden, and I built the garden beds, but
That's it. That's as far as you want to go.
she said, I want a garden. I want garden beds. And I said, okay,
Gotcha.
here they are. Now have fun.
Nice. Hey, that's what I did up until this year, and then I was like, oh, yeah, Sarah, I'll go help you weed the garden. And I'm just out there, dude, sun shining on me, and I'm freaking digging in the dirt, and I'm like, this is great. I could just do this forever. Just sitting out here, dude. It's a beautiful day out. Hands are deep in the cold soil, dude. It's freaking beautiful. Oh, garden.
Life's a garden.
Yeah, dig it, brother. Anyways, this is the first time I've ever done this because usually I like to stretch out the freaking whole beginning part as long as I can. Gage, what you been working on?
Not much.
Yeah.
I've had a very ridiculous week. What the hell have I been working on? I'm BattleTech pilled right now.
Oh, yeah, you are. Explain that,
You playing it on
Gagey.
Tabletop Simulator?
No, so there's an app. There's a game called MegaMek, MEK, and it's so Windows XP UI. Like it looks
I love that.
old as shit. I'll pull up a picture for you guys right now, but everyone should go look it up. And,
Google it.
and Google it. It is the easiest way for you to get into BattleTech, a 300-year-old game. The game does all of the phases for you and does all the dice rolling and mathematics for you.
Oh, shit, no way.
So you kind of you all move, you all assign your targets.
All you really got to do is this decision making.
Yeah. And then it'll go through. And then it's funny because we've all been playing it on the Discord, but we're in voice chat and we're like scrolling through because it does all of the rolls at the same time.
It's kind of nice.
So if there's like 4 people playing with 3 mechs each, you just have a shitload of mechs that you're scrolling through, and you can tell when people are getting to certain points because it'll be like Atlas hit Hunchback in the head and kills Pilot, and then people are like, "Oh, I missed." Whoa! Because they read that one.
Oh, amazing!
Because it's like I said, it's not really a video game per se. It's like a simulator. It might the visuals might as well not even be there. You know what I mean? It's just
what oh shoot, where I was gonna go with this. That probably cuts down a lot on game time then.
Yes and no. I mean, I still have yet to play a full game of BattleTech in person. I'm told that MegaMek makes it way faster. However, every time I've played, it's been a lot of people in the chat, a lot of people playing. So it doesn't feel like it's faster or longer.
You have to like wait for people to finish their turn. Like assign your targets.
Well, no, everyone's at the same phasing. So no matter what, you have to kind of look at what everyone's doing no matter what. You're like, you take your mech, press next player moves their mech, etc. So I'm trying to find this picture for you.
Yeah. I mean, the game looks so sick, and the fact that it's so freaking, I don't know, low quality. What would you call that? Like early internet looking at shit?
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, oh, it'll run on my computer, which is great.
Yeah.
It definitely will run on your computer.
Here's the picture I took.
Oh, that looks great.
It's just a super old, ancient like UI. You know what I mean? Like that game
what I
could
like,
exist.
It reminds me of Fallout.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, very Fallout 1.
Fallout.
And even like turning on the isometric was an advanced option. Like that wasn't there. I had to turn that on. So doing that, I went to the worst LGS around and visited Paul while he was playing.
Shout him out.
I don't even any presses.
Oh, I meant Paul.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Shout out Pauly Mordheim.
Yeah, shout out Pauly Mordheim. But watching BattleTech in person,
Yeah.
I was like, damn, dude.
You liked it?
Dude,
Cheaters.
it's all well, yeah.
Lot of
I'll get to that
fucking
in a
cheaters.
second, but
Whoa,
I really just need to play this right now, and it's hazardous to my attention span because I should be working on my term warband, and I'm not
Listen, war bands are easy. War bands aren't too
I've got
bad.
the concept down.
Yeah. You'll get there, dude.
I posted it in the chat the other day. But to describe to people that listen to this podcast, I'm using horrors from like Old Hammer era as the armor, like their heads. Excuse me, as the armor pieces for
like the torsos.
That's of
sick.
these guys, and they're just going to be like fancy Monster Hunter type people. Mm-hmm. Like what was it, the World's Most Dangerous Game like era people is what I'm thinking. Just like really fancy, like pith helmets and top hat lads, just going out there and like hunting monsters ye old way. But
damn, I thought you were talking about that movie with Ice-T. You know what I'm talking about? What's that movie called? I thought it was the world's most dangerous game or something like that. Or it's like, because don't they call what do they call humans? The most dangerous.
Yeah, the most dangerous game.
Yeah, I think that's what it's called.
It's a short story.
But Ice-T
the most dangerous game.
Ice-T is a homeless man who gets like abducted by just a bunch of rich people, and then they send him out into the woods, and they go like, "You get a 5-minute head start," and then they hunt him, and then he ends up.
I mean, there's a couple of movies like this. But
spoilers, he kills them all.
Surviving the game.
Surviving the game, dude.
Now,
very cool movie.
I did bring Chaos Guys, but I didn't bring any of the old horrors. They're
That's what
in
it
a different
means.
box up
That's
in my
fine.
attic.
I've got 2 of them sourced, and they will be next dayed to me.
Wow.
So I was like, I will shell any amount of money I need to get this done. I have 2.5 weeks to get it done
Till term?
Yeah. Well, because we're leaving the end of the month.
Shit, I didn't realize it was so quick.
Yeah, brother. That's why I'm like, fuck. I cannot be looking at mechs right now.
You cannot be looking at mechs right now, Gage. I didn't realize it. For some reason, I mean, I guess it's summer. I was like, for some reason, I thought it was going to be summer. It is summer.
No,
We're
it's
here.
June 7. Yeah.
Wow, dude. So 2 weeks you leave for
2.5 weeks.
Croatia.
Oh, that's a really cool video, Phil.
Phil's watching.
Phil's doom
Reels.
scrolling. He just doesn't care about what I'm saying
Doom
anymore.
scrolling, Phil. He's just smiling. I just not even paying attention to us busting him. Anyways, that's sick though. I'm so stoked for that. That's
Me
gonna
too.
be so cool.
Yeah, we've got it. We've got all the trip planned. We're gonna be there for a week, so I'll probably save most of that for next episode. But
Yeah.
so like I said, the warband is gonna be fancy guys wearing like cool armor pieces of like their trophies, essentially. That's all.
Oh, so neat.
But like I said, man, BattleTech has got a strangle. I've been watching
know.
a cartoon. I'm 10 episodes deep right now. Cartoon is sick.
Oh, the BattleTech cartoon?
Yeah, dude. It's like I feel like it's got to be the same animation studio as the X-Men cartoon.
Yeah.
So it's like when a mech moves, if they're doing a close-up, you can see the dimensions just fucking go so wonky. Like,
oh, cool.
It's so bad, but so sick.
BattleTech is also only like 3 max.
4. Usually.
4 max. You didn't even paint that up in an afternoon.
Oh, I was like, what are you talking about? You're going to piss off an entire community
No,
right now.
but I mean to play a game. Like, you don't have to worry about
no.
like,
I have them. I have them for a better game called Flames of Orion. But
oh, yeah, that was a good game.
Debatable.
That is,
yeah, that was a good game.
It was a good game. I remember
It's already
that game.
dead.
It's already over.
Shout out.
I don't know. I've been really wanting to play. And like I said, watching Paul play, getting really nitty gritty. They were crunchy playing advanced rules. They were playing. They were doing a whole bunch of shit. And come to find out, one of them, since I was the observer,
You saw him cheat?
I don't know if it was like on purpose.
It's easy to feign ignorance.
Yes, it is.
So they're
especially in a
using
game
the
like
pilot
BattleTech.
cards on like the new version.
I'm familiar.
Yeah,
I
you've
like
seen
those
them.
pilot cards.
Yeah.
They come with like the booster sets or whatever they have.
Yeah. So one of his pilots, or 2 of them actually, had an ability called Demoralizer, and it's supposed to, in place of attacking, you can use this ability, which is like kind of like, I don't know what it's supposed to be in game, but it makes whatever mech you're targeting worse.
Okay.
But he was shooting with it, wasn't he?
But he was doing a demoralizer, and then he was doing all of his attacks.
Very cool. Cheater.
Yeah. He was a little aggressive while he was saying it, too.
Well, then you know he was cheating.
Yeah.
We're just going to call
should've
him a
just-
cheater.
Yeah, we should just beat his ass. No, but I mean, they were very friendly. They were helping me learn rules, even if they were playing them wrong. But
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm BattleTech build.
BattleTech's cool.
BattleTech all the way.
And the models for like I don't know, those ones that come in the little like blister packs
Oh, I
they have
love
at
that.
Barnes and Noble or whatever. That shit, they're cool looking models and they paint up so nice. They are such a blast to paint.
The
Ugh, I still got some primed, I think.
while we're still on it, real quick, I just want to shout out this account that it's been just like porn for BattleTech right now for me is a Deceptidodge. He buys those packs like you're talking about.
Yeah.
But he kit bashes them in a way where it's like it's not like overly over the top kit bashing. It's like,
Yeah, this is perfect.
yeah, I'm gonna buy a couple of these mechs and like take the rockets off this one and put it on this one. Like really changing
good.
the loadouts and shit where it's a refreshing take on kit bashing for mechs.
Well, it's
so.
hard with mechs to kit bash.
Yes,
At least
and that's what I'm
trouble.
saying. Normally it's like, and not discrediting him because I have a bunch in the case myself, but it's just like I use a chaos piece and now this guy has a sick maul arm.
Yeah, baby.
And it's like, it's a totally different vision of kit bashing in that like technological space, I guess, where it's like you were kind of talking about it with like how art is coming out for the game. It's hard to capture the vision of like a really tight sci-fi piece without making it over the top.
Yeah. Try and keep things grounded.
Yeah. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I think this account does a really good job of it.
Yeah.
cool. What's it called again?
Deceptidodge.
Deceptidodge.
I know nothing about him. He could be an evil person.
Yeah, it could
They
be.
could be an evil person. I'm sorry.
No,
Another time you've shouted out the wrong.
Yeah. Hang me for this one too.
What can you do? What can you do?
Listen, BattleTech, it's on the come up. We got another LGS near us. A little bit cooler than the one that you were talking about.
Yeah.
But only marginally.
Yeah.
Has that Friday night crew that plays BattleTech. It's the
Oh,
same
yeah.
3 guys playing BattleTech every Friday.
Funny
I like
enough,
them.
Paul was the guys he was playing with are from Enfield.
Oh.
Oh shit!
So
no
come
way.
by the studio,
Yeah.
bro. We gotta fucking
Play some BattleTech.
play some BattleTech without cheating.
Some BattleTech. Yeah. Cool. But anyways, that's sick. And I think, the Gage, you're at the level where you could paint and build term, play BattleTech, and do whatever
Do
else
not
you need to.
Stop.
Dude, I
Do
don't
not
know.
encourage him
Yeah.
in this dire time.
I have
Treat yourself then with you bash a dude, go play a game.
no, dude. It's yeah, the instant reward.
Yeah.
Right now, while I'm waiting for the bits to come in to finish the torsos for these guys, I'm hyped on painting, so I don't want to ruin my flow.
I see.
So,
Good call.
You know?
No, I'm with you on that one. I hear you loud and clear,
that's
partner.
it. Speaking of summer, though, you're
I'm going
You're
next.
off.
you're looking down the barrel, huh?
I'm looking down the barrel of summer vacation, summer breakation.
Tomorrow.
The last like 2 weeks have been so hectic at work, and it's like getting ready for the art show, putting up the art show, working with parent volunteers to do this, that. I had to do a slime party because
Hold on.
oh,
What is a slime party?
Probably exactly what it sounds like.
they have like a
Like the
fundraiser
slimes?
thing, and they're always like, oh, one time you did a slime party where you guys made slime, and it was such a big seller, and can you please do it again? And every year I go, I'm never doing this again. This is so annoying and so hard, and the kids are just absolutely nuts when they make slime.
Yeah.
And then every year I say, fine, I'll do it again. What's one more time? And so
You're gonna get a message 20 years from now, being like, "Mister, you changed my life with this slime party."
maybe
This kid's going to be a slime connoisseur.
it's
the
just
slime
so
hall.
awful.
Weird slime fetishist, more like it.
And they just like, I don't know, they wreck everything. They're so cuckoo crazy for slime, and yeah, and I'm
Or is it
just
that
like,
slime that you make from like
yeah,
fucking-
Elmer's glue and shit. Because I'm making everything, so we're like, I put their hands in it. I'm dumping glue on their hands. I'm putting freaking
You're
this
sliming
stuff
them?
on their hands, and so that they can
You're
like
sliming
feel it
them?
all.
You're
Yeah, I'm
sliming?
sliming them up. And yeah, it's just messy, and I'm after school so late, and so it's every day's been something like that, though. Not necessarily sliming it every day, but every day has been like staying late for the closing reception for the art show. It's just so talking to parents and being so exhausted. Anyways,
Do you have any sick parent stories? Real quick ones
I'm sure. No,
from this year.
dox 'em.
From this year.
from this year, dude.
I remember some.
Unprofessional of him.
Oh, there
good
is a
ones.
parent who I absolutely love, and his kids are so sweet, and they're amazing artists, and he is a huge comic book head, and so even though like I don't know much about comics, and he doesn't know much about like the nerd world I'm in, we definitely just have like the Predator kind of handshake every time we see each other.
Yeah.
You know? And we just like, we get each other on that kind of level, and he's just so cool to hang out with. So he only comes around during the like art show. He comes in to help me like set it up and stuff. And we just chat. And so I was telling him, I'm like, I discovered Bill Sienkiewicz and like his messy kind of chaotic art style. And so he's showing me all of these like, pictures of different, like his favorite colors that or favorite covers that Bill Sienkiewicz did and all that. I don't know, just a great guy. Some of the parents are very cool, and some of them are like metalheads, and it's always just like, "What's up?" And they don't ever want to talk about anything. Like some guy was wearing an Uncle Acid shirt, and I was like, "Dude, sick shirt!" Like, and he was just like,
"Thanks."
Yeah, thanks, man. And I'm like, dude, come on, you got to talk to me.
Yeah.
That's not just like a normal, you know what I mean? It's not like you're wearing like a...
That's not a normal thing to wear to your kid's thing.
Well, yeah, I don't know. It's not like you're wearing like a AC/DC shirt, and I'm like, great shirt. And like, then you can be like, thanks, I bought it at Walmart, and then go your separate way. Like, talk to me, man, talk to me.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Anyways, though, that all said and done, it's been a pretty slow hobby week for me. I hate painting this many fucking clan rats. I hate it so much. It's the worst thing ever.
But you committed to it.
Yeah. But I committed to it, and I will eventually. Dude,
how many do you have done?
I have like 15 done out of 60 total.
I was going to say 60, right?
That's a quarter.
You're being a little bit of a baby.
No, I know I am. However, this whole hobby nonsense is kind of important to me. I can't kill it with some project that sucks trying to slam through it. And I know that I'm being a baby, but like, it's just, I think about like, what am I going to work on in my hobby desk? And I'm like, another rat?
Why don't you
I don't want to do another rat.
Why don't you do the thing where you paint, well, not you, but like the thing where you're like, oh, I'm painting a bunch of rats, but you know what? I'm going to paint this vehicle right now, or I'm going to...
That's kind
of
what
something BOP fun. Prep, so
and that's what I've been doing. So all of a sudden, I was like, I think that the reason I've been not wanting to do hobby stuff is because I'm just like, I don't particularly want to paint rats, and so instead, I've just been developing this kind of Brothers of Prometheum warband that's based around. The lore's not fully fleshed out, but the idea, I think, is this guy will like capture these kind of desert creatures. And he's using parts from the ship to like augment the little like desert creatures, and then he like sells them.
Very cool.
So he's kind of stole your idea and Phil's idea.
Beastmaster?
Oh, nice,
dude! I've gotten some cool.
You're here for my lawyer.
Some people have been telling me their stories and their lore for their stuff. I don't know if I can spoil. Can I spoil their stuff?
No, don't dox them yet.
Yeah, not yet.
We're still collecting them on the drive.
Okay.
People ask about that all the time on the Discord too. Like, hey, is there a collected spot I can see all of these things?
Not for you.
Not yet.
Wow. But eventually, that's the idea.
That's the idea.
All right, so listeners,
I think we have a lot of submissions. I think we have like 20 plus.
Listeners, just give us a little time. It'll all be up there eventually, but we're still we're in the collecting phase right now.
I'm sure. When does this go live? A week from now?
Yeah.
I'm sure by now I've announced the Make a Speeder contest in Rust.
Oh, cool.
Can I enter?
Yeah. Me? Can I enter too?
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
How many can I enter?
As many as you want.
I have a lot of them.
That's fine.
Do you have any of the rules, or should we just wait to see it up on the thing?
No, it's just going to be make like a Wasteland Speeder specifically.
Very sick.
Is this going to be voting via people throwing a fire emoji on it in Discord? Because I think that'd be really cool.
No, I think it's going to be us four sitting down and going, this one's sick, this one's sick.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
I have an idea that I want to do of a dog sled that's just like driven by these weird augmented like pups.
That's sick.
Right? Just through the desert.
You gotta
real
make it.
Radagast style, just riding around. Guy holding his hat and just like flying around on
kind
this.
of coming off, and he's like catching it in his hands.
Whimsical. So I don't know though.
In
the
my lore, dude, I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry, Steve.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
I don't know. So the lore is not fully there yet, but it's coming together, and it's a lot of fun. I'm just taking these like Michael's toys, like the tube of desert creatures, and I'm cutting heads off and putting like random crap on, and it's a lot of fun, and they look sick, and it feels so refreshing to not paint rats.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
How the mighty have fallen.
Shame on you.
Don't worry, they'll get done, but
When was the last time you painted a zombie?
Shame. I know your name.
I don't know. Dude, okay, and then last thing I will say about my hobby time,
goes.
I've decided that maybe I'm not an army painter.
What?
Maybe I'm more of a skirmish-sized painter.
Oh, shut up.
I don't know if I believe that.
I enjoy the all of those little Nurgle cultists. I loved because they were all unique, and I was like, man, this army is fun because each thing I make is unique, and so it's fun to paint.
But you could also, knowing you did that with your zombies.
Exactly, and then think about how many zombies I painted.
Why can't you do that with rats?
Yeah, but you made all your zombies
could.
unique. You can make your rats unique.
I know, but they're already primed.
cares?
That's the problem.
Stop.
They're already like, I made them all like crusty looking, and I took all this time preparing
Bash
them,
the
and
bash, dude. Embrace the map.
I guess I should.
We watched this motherfucker take a painted model and bash it.
Yeah,
You could be
Who
doing
did that?
All of us.
Yeah. I'd be doing that.
I probably could, and you know what? I've been thinking about it, so maybe I will. But
So Tyler repainted a whole
We'll
army
see.
and bashed it while here the other day.
yeah. Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll work it out. And you know what? Even if they get painted like this, they'll get painted eventually.
Yeah, I'm
It'll
sure
just
they will.
be
I'm
little
sure
bits at a time.
2 episodes
Hey, I'll
from
help
now,
you paint them.
you're going to
be back
like,
on rats?
You're like, I'm back on rats, baby, and they're
Probably.
great. I'm done.
That was a good Terry impression.
Yeah, you know,
sounded kinda like
it's his inflection.
Back on rats, baby. Yeah, that was pretty good actually. Now that I
Listen,
just
you know,
said that.
I've known you for 15 years.
So that's
50 years?
50
years. 50 years. I remember when we were painting BattleTech. Yes, and I think it. And then I've been making some 2D artwork and like some collages and weird shit.
Your blogs,
yeah.
posts have been sick.
Dude, they're such rambling. Like I want to use it. Nobody reads it. It literally shows the view count, and it's 0, which is fine because I
don't know if that's true though, because
maybe it's not.
So anyone sharing your post is a faker.
when
Is a
Maybe.
liar.
a liar.
no, because I think you can view them all from the main page,
yeah, maybe that's it.
and I don't think they see the
I don't.
individuals.
I don't really care though. I'm just doing it like
No,
a
I
thought
know.
will pop into my head, and I'll be like, "This needs more." I don't want to forget this.
Yeah.
Let me break this down into like 150 words or something. You know what I mean? So yeah, the blog has been fun. Who knows what will happen to it in the summer because I'm just off doing summer things. But at school, it's like a nice way to be like, oh, I have a prep and I'm eating. Let me just write down
Let me
these like
just type,
thoughts I
yeah.
have. Yeah. So it's been fun. Yeah. Anyways, who wants to go next? Phil or Gage? You guys want rock paper scissors live on air for the next?
Well, I
step?
already went.
Oh, sorry, Phil or Steve. Now I'm messing both you guys up multiple times
God
this
damn it.
episode. Yeah, we just met.
I need another Coke Zero.
I'm not good with faces.
All right, I'll go.
All right.
Not much. Still painting servitors. I got a nice new slate of servitors sitting on my desk. I was actually dry brushing them a little bit before you got here. And I actually have a few incoming from listeners.
Hey.
Yeah, I put out the call.
Shout out.
Yeah, I got a couple coming in. Other than that, not a whole lot.
No, but you've been doing great painting those, like painting the ones that you do get in. We talked about this last episode, but they look freaking great.
Yeah, I wish I had more to report.
It's okay. We're all, you know what I mean? We're all getting it done at this point. Moving the.
What are you doing?
I'm waiting till you're done talking.
I'm like bracing for impact.
trying to interrupt
Open it.
you.
Open
All
it.
right, fine, I'll open it.
There you go.
Yeah, I would say I think the weather has made it where, I mean, we'll get into what Steve was doing, but Steve wasn't here. We weren't playing games in the studio. Nothing was really happening. So
Yeah.
low productivity week here in the studio.
Yeah.
I
we're
played
all-
a game.
Yeah, this is like the busy season at work, so I definitely don't have a lot of steam.
Yeah.
and especially dude, the last 2 weeks I've worked a bunch of overtime. I haven't even had any time to read my little comic book.
Oh, come
Yeah,
on.
man.
I know.
Bummer.
Yeah,
It's all right. You'll get back at it.
yeah.
Is that it?
That's it. I mean, I don't know. What do you want me to say?
Nothing.
Steve, what you been
I'm
up
watching
to?
a lot of YouTube videos about the
He's got more.
Paleozoic era.
Now
That's
we're-
about
yeah.
it.
Yeah. Go in on that. I want to know more.
You want to hear about the Paleozoic
I
era?
want to know more about what you've been watching about the Paleozoic era.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
What is the Paleozoic?
Yeah, tell me what that
Paleozoic
is.
era is the period of geological time, sort of before the dinosaurs, when it was all just
Oh,
like
shit.
fucked up, like insects. and-
Isopods ruled the world.
Yeah, yeah, and well, not just that. It was sort of like, you have sort of like a Devonian age, which is like lots of big crazy fish, and
That's
like
scary.
sea
Like
scorpions
Megalodon shit?
and
Or like
I mean not
dating that.
So Megalodon lived.
With Jason Statham.
No, I
Yes.
think Megalodon lived actually after the dinosaurs during the Cenozoic, which is technically the era we're in right now, sort of the age of mammals. So the Megalodon ate ancient whales.
Dude, so sick.
Yeah.
How big was a megalodon? Gotta
Like
be pretty big.
50, 60 feet.
That's not as big
So-
as a blue whale, though. Blue whale, 100
No,
feet,
but
right?
this wasn't blue whales. This was more primitive whales. This was like when
okay.
whales had
Little whales.
like just returned to the ocean.
They're like, finally, we're back.
Yeah.
Return to the ocean.
Yeah, from space.
From land. Dude, space
Well, they were
whales.
land animals that
What?
evolved. Where did you think whales came
I
from?
don't fucking know.
Well, you know,
That's
a
all
whale's an
fish.
mammal, right?
No, go off because I don't know what the fuck
tell
you're
us.
talking
All
about.
This
fish.
is-
Wait, so fish came out of the water, turned into mammals, and then said,
Well,
not
so
for me.
it's-
I'm getting
so
back in the water.
Okay, so evolution isn't that straightforward, but we will say, what were fish became what you would think of as amphibians. Amphibians became what you would think of as reptiles. Reptiles became mammals and birds.
Okay.
Okay,
All right. Now, when do the whales come in?
so the whales come in. So we have an organism. Think of somewhat like an otter, with a really long face. And it over millions of years, it sort of evolves into almost like a mammalian crocodile. It has a big, long, chompy mouth,
Okay.
long body, kind of like a crocodile. Long tail. Sort of like lives. Like I said, similar body shape of like an otter, but with like a long
Yeah.
face. And it's like Ambulocetus. That's a name for sort of like the most famous ancestor. And then over time, that spends more and more time in the water. Its descendants grow really big. They lose their rear limbs for
Okay,
whatever
yeah.
reason, and adapt to a fully aquatic lifestyle.
Dude, that is
That's
some
fucking
wild.
crazy.
That is really fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I never knew that shit.
Yeah.
That's
Well, where did you think whales? Because whales are mammals, right?
I did, but I
guess you just don't think about that.
I've never thought.
That's a
I would.
fish.
That's all I think about is.
I would have just thought maybe that they evolved from fish, and like the
So you think
gills
things
evolved.
that are separately all turn into mammals
Dude, don't
separately?
you fucking pander to
Yeah.
me right now, brother?
Condescending.
I don't know shit.
No, I get no. That's true. I
No.
take it for granted that
You are a nut.
I go
with this
psycho
stuff.
for that sort of thing, but I'm so unknowledgeable about so many things that
you-
I scoff at people when they don't
That's
understand
okay. You
the,
can
the
scoff
natural
away.
world.
I'm not actually offended. I
Phil
say
arguing
tons
with the
of
kid
dumb
from
things.
Battle Standard about some form of animals. I can't remember
Was
what.
I?
Yeah.
What do they call it?
The
when
biology teacher kid.
Yeah, the kid that
Oh,
was in
yeah.
school for biology, and you were just like, this kid doesn't know what he's talking about.
I don't know what I was arguing about.
That's sick though. Just arguing with some kid.
Yeah,
Shut up!
not a kid, but
He's in college.
Yeah, college kid, the kid that works there.
A schooner is a sailboat. Anyways,
I went on the sailboat last weekend.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
there you
Dude,
go.
you've been doing shit.
Hobbying on the sailboat.
It's more of a I would say a filial duty
Yeah.
rather than
I've also never heard that word filial, and
I thought it was
Yeah,
just
it's-
like a fill duty.
Yeah.
no, filial. It's pertaining to being a child. I'm being a good son.
Yeah. Named Phil.
Yeah, named
Yeah.
Phil.
That's why they call
Filial
it that.
A
duty.
good son, spending
Yeah.
time with my dad.
Stevie.
Yeah. A stevial duty.
yeah, all the brains went over onto this side of the table over here with Phyllis. Dude, it's sick. Filial. Shit, what was I gonna say? Oh, when was the time of the when they were all like the seashells and stuff? You know what I'm talking about?
Trilobites.
Yeah, trilobites.
That's like what I'm talking about. Paleozoic.
Oh, so
era.
they were floating around like that too.
What was
Yeah.
the age of man over?
What was the age of Aquarius?
I don't know what you mean.
When it was the age of the orc.
Oh,
Age of the Orc.
age of the orc.
I would say that was probably the Miocene era.
Yeah, I agree.
Orky nonsense. They're still discovering dinos and shit all the time, right?
Absolutely, yeah, all the time.
Some kid at my school is obsessed with
and
Titanoboa.
that's the thing. I really keep up with like all the new, discoveries.
Oh,
and that sort of
really?
stuff. And dude, stuff changes constantly. Dude, Spinosaurus from Jurassic
Oh
Park.
yeah, totally.
Dude, over the last couple years, the amount of discoveries and like differences in like how they understand Spinosaurus is like it's gone crazy. It's like a aquatic, like it had a paddle tail. It was an aquatic dinosaur.
Well, that's like raptors too. Like how raptors were perceived, right? Like they're more like birds, right?
Well, birds evolved from raptors.
Oh.
So birds,
bird of prey. Fuck yeah, raptor. Is that what it means?
Well, yeah, like raptor. Yeah, in Latin, raptor. Yeah. I think. I don't know. I'm not good with the.
That's my Jurassic Park knowledge.
The naming conventions, but yeah, we refer to birds of prey are referred to as raptors.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, birds evolved from a group of dinosaurs.
Why did they get feathers?
Well, a lot of them had feathers to begin with. I don't know. I mean, I think the feathers might have been like maybe like a temperature regulation thing. It is widely, I think, believed at this point that dinosaurs are warm-blooded because birds are warm-blooded. And so that was sort of what set dinosaurs apart from other reptiles is that they were, it's kind of why they were able to grow. It's why they were able to grow so big and sort of like.
No shit. Wait, dinosaurs were warm-blooded?
It's not known.
Yeah.
It's a not
a theory.
It's a theory.
Wild.
Yeah.
Dude, this is some wild shit.
Phil's been on some shit the past week.
Did you ever see that?
Well, I've always been into that stuff, but like all of my like what's the word? Like my hyperfixations, it like comes and goes. But I've got stacks of like books on dinosaurs and natural history and stuff.
Phil, you're so sick, dude.
Yeah, I'm a freaking dweeb.
Dude, do you ever see that the Spinosaurus, the Chris Pratt Jurassic Park movie or whatever?
Jurassic World.
Yeah.
Jurassic World. Dude,
this is an awesome turn this podcast is
listen, dude, all I'm saying, it just popped in my head. As soon as I was watching that movie and they stuck the only guy who can train velociraptors, which seems like a pretty specialized job. You'd make a lot of money for that job. And he just lives in the trailer in like the woods.
He blows his money.
Those movies are not good.
Yeah, I know. But I remember watching that and being like, what the fuck is going on? You're telling me like... And then also, he designs the wall to keep the Spinosaurus. And the scientists and engineers pull him in, the guy who lives by the river.
Yeah. Maybe he chooses to live by the river.
Maybe.
Lifestyle choice.
But like, it seems inconvenient for both training velociraptors and then also having to go and talk about like structural integrity with scientists to then have to ride your dirt bike to the...
Maybe he likes riding his dirt bike.
All I'm saying is it's a bit unrealistic.
Rather than getting a pay raise, he requested that spot.
I don't know. Yeah,
Please don't give me more money. I want to live in a trailer by the ocean.
Maybe you're right. Maybe that was his... Maybe they're like, okay, fine. Like, to get this guy who knows how to build walls to keep Spinosaurus in and to be able to train velociraptors, I guess we got to give him what he wants, which is a trailer by the river. And maybe he demanded it.
Yeah.
Maybe that was part of his demands.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe Jurassic World is actually a good movie.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you think so?
No.
Do you see the most recent one?
No. I
so
it's
bad. It is
really bad.
It's got to be bad.
But it's funny because the end of the second one, the dinosaurs are like let out.
I thought that was a perfect ending to let go of these fucking movies.
By the start of the third one, which is you can only assume like a year later, the dinosaurs that left have now populated the entire Earth.
Yes.
Wait, it makes no sense.
This is the third one after the Lost... No. So there's Jurassic Park, The Lost World.
Yeah.
Lost Kingdom.
And then
Lost Kingdom? No,
something like that.
What's the one where the dinosaur gets off of the ship? That's the second one.
Off at the ship.
There's like a weird dinosaur auction in it, right?
No, dude. No, man. I'm thinking the literal second Jurassic Park.
Oh, you thought the first trilogy?
Yeah. Oh, my God. Wait, there's a whole nother trilogy that is
happening? Are you kidding? Chris Pratt is in the
Chris
new
Pratt
trilogy
is what we're talking about.
There's a trilogy of these fucking movies?
All right, so the first Jurassic Park movie, based on the Michael Crichton book, there was 3 Jurassic Park movies in the 90s.
A lovely movie. Jurassic Park 1, great.
There were 3 Jurassic Park movies that came out in the 90s, and there are 3 that came out in the 2010s.
Holy shit.
Okay?
3 of them.
Yes.
There
are 3 Chris Pratt ones from the last 10 years.
What does he do in the other ones? Because they fucked up in the first one, and I was like, oh,
the second one they have a dinosaur auction.
Yeah, the second one there's like a weird dinosaur auction.
auction?
And then at the end they free the dinosaurs, and then
Of the
Not
second
on
one.
purpose though.
Yeah.
It's not on purpose that they free the
Yeah, dude, I can't
dinosaurs.
remember the plot.
It's like
sucks.
some
It's
animal
a-
liberation front comes along and frees all the dinosaurs.
Hell yeah, brother.
Liberate!
Something crazy.
It lets them out.
And then
That'd be a
the
sick
third
place.
the third
Yeah.
movie is about like a insane plague of locusts, and it kind of just like it takes place in a world where dinosaurs exist, but the dinosaurs aren't really central to the plot.
The fact that you remember that is insane because I don't even remember that part of the movie.
I
The
didn't even know that
locusts?
was
No.
free.
That is what the movie's about.
It's
It's like this insane plague of bugs.
I'm still laughing at
I
like
think.
a hardcore aside like gang of like ALF members. being
Yeah.
like, let these dinosaurs go.
Yeah.
I don't know what their stances would be. Probably liberate.
Would it be vegan to eat a dinosaur?
yeah.
No.
They're made in a lab. Oh no, they have a consciousness though.
But well, I mean, what are the what kind? I mean, you would know better than I do. What
Why would I know that?
is there a debate as to what counts as vegan and what doesn't? I thought it has
I
to
mean,
be
of
vegetable
course.
matter.
Yeah, I mean, you also get the like insect.
Brother, he's eating Skittles. There ain't no
People who
vegetable.
don't eat.
Yeah, there's no vegetable matter in Skittles. That's
So
for sure.
are there people who eat insects, or are you talking about honey?
Honey, shit like that.
So
Yeah,
the
honey, I
So
know.
the honey.
Derivative.
So I think it's not that you're eating animals; it's that you're exploiting the
Correct.
exploiting.
It's
animals.
the way
Okay.
that they are. You are getting the honey.
So vegans would be against dinosaurs, like growing a dinosaur in a lab.
I mean,
Would
I
they?
think it's probably a bad thing to grow a dinosaur in a lab in general.
I'm saying
a lot of bad
hypothetically, the vegans would probably, like PETA would probably make a stand too. Not that PETA is anybody to like talk about when it comes to vegan.
Yeah, but would they be
morals, but-
PETA or would they be petted?
Oh yeah, you're
Wait,
right.
is a dinosaur not an animal?
PETA. No, it's still PETA.
Well, but are they animals or not? Because they're grown in a lab, right? They gotta be. I mean, I guess,
All right, sure.
dude. I don't
Pitted.
know.
Pitted.
This
Is this multicellular life? I mean, even single. Would you consider a single cell organism an animal? Would you call a bacteria an animal?
Dude.
Yeah, you better stop using disinfectant, bro.
Yeah,
Better
dude.
stop
I don't,
washing your hands.
I'm a big vegan, dude.
Oh, I'm sure there are vegans that don't wash their hands because of the.
yeah.
it kills
I'm
the
sure we
bacteria.
know some.
Yeah, you're probably not wrong. Chime in, listener, in the Discord if you're one of those that doesn't.
I
wash
would like
their
to
hands.
know so I don't shake your hand.
Yeah, I'm sure a real crunchy vegan that doesn't wash their hands because they're scared about killing bacteria is in the kit bashing Discord.
Yeah, I have an
You
iPhone.
never know. You never know. Steve, what you been working on?
You went to TMX.
Yeah.
Yeah, I painted a whole. I finished my Empire army. I brought them to TMX in a box wrapped in bubble wrap.
They made it.
Did you play with them?
I did. Me and Adam played OPR on the first day that I got there.
Did you win?
I did.
Yeah, you always do.
I did.
Yeah, you always do.
I beat Brad today too.
No, you
I
beat
do
Brad?
not lose. I do not lose.
Brad, I heard Brad is
Yeah, I heard
rank
Brad.
and flank.
Yeah, Brad was the
hero.
Well,
he's
he
the-
lost 4-0 on objectives.
Wow. You didn't play him in Old World, though.
Yeah.
That's fair. I'll play him in that.
You should.
I will.
Did you play Old World?
I did.
Gage?
I did.
Is it fun?
I liked it. I had no complaints. None of the mechanics felt stupid. And this is coming from someone that, like, I really haven't touched that kind of Warhammer since I was
Yeah.
too young to know how to play Warhammer. So,
And you picked it up pretty quick too?
yeah.
Sweet.
It helped because Brad knows it very well. I didn't actually have to really rely on the reference sheet, but
Yeah.
I am looking forward to play again.
Yeah, let's
So,
play some Old World.
Yeah.
Sweet. We're Old
Yeah,
World
after
podcast
Necropolis,
now.
you would play.
Yeah, after Necropolis, and then I don't know what else is
All
in there.
the other 7 fucking games you've been blowing me off for.
Yeah. And then there was that other one that I posted the other day that now I'm in the Discord for, and I'm blanking on it. Ooh, something 28 though.
BattleTech.
Oh, that's it. BattleTech.
BattleTech 28.
No, it's somebody's game. Now I can't remember. I wish I could shout him out. But anyway, Steve, what else have you been working on? Sorry, went on a tangent there.
I finished my models. Finished my whole Empire army. I went to TMX. It was very cool.
Yeah.
Hung out with Adam and Nate Dungeon.
Yes.
It was a good time. We ran demos of Flames for people. So TMX is like a pretty small convention.
Yeah,
Like
which is cool.
maybe it's hard to estimate like numbers, but maybe 50 people.
Yeah, I was gonna say from
like 50
pictures.
different people that I saw
Yeah.
in that room. But it was still cool. Like everyone that was there
Totally.
was hyped to play games. So we were just playing games with people.
I might actually. I mean, I don't know. The shopping's kind of cool at the big cons, but like a little just like hangout 50-person event is like that's sick. That's so cool.
It's crazy. Someone around here should do that.
Yeah,
that'd be cool to go to.
Yeah.
Oh wait, Arcane Con is happening in November.
What's that?
Brian, who had a table at on the Dice Fest.
What's his game called? It's like Dungeons and Denizens or something like that.
That's one of them. He's got like 7 fucking things.
Yeah. Steve's going to grab it.
Let me see.
Here you go, Phil. You can read that.
Oh, did I get it right? Oh.
Domains and Domination.
Oh, yeah,
There we
yeah.
go. Yeah, Brian is a RPG publisher. Has a hardcover book. You can buy this book on, I think, DriveThru RPG, print on demand. He is very cool, and he's running his own convention. He came down to the Dice Fest, and he said, this is so sick, and now he's doing one.
Yeah. Oh, sick. So that's awesome. When did you say it was?
November. I don't have
Great.
the exact date in front of me, but
Well, that'll be sick.
it'll be sick. I'm going to run flames at it.
Okay.
But so me and Adam ran End Transmission, like I guess you'd call it episode 2. Episode 1 was like the Adepticon game that everyone played in. Episode 2 is like the follow-up where we take the story from what happened at the end of episode 1 and we just kind of continue everything. Terry's got a little piece of paper in front of him right now.
Yeah, it says Arcane Con, November 9th, 2024. Role-playing games, old-school revival RPGs, indie games, classic RPGs, vintage tabletop games, board games, miniature war games, and more in Northampton, Massachusetts. A little advertisement.
Yeah. So we ran in Transmission. We ran it, me and Nate, kind of like running through the mechanics and everything the night before TMX. And then the next day he ran it for... I'm just not going to say anyone's names because I'm going to feel bad if I forget anyone.
Yeah.
But everyone that came looked like they had a great time. It was a really cool scenario that we cooked up. I would love to run it again.
Would this be if you ran it again, would it be like a continuation of the second one?
No, I was talking to the guys today about running it and just like running it the same thing, like simultaneous, like whatever happened in theirs could kind of like carry into the weight of like episode 3.
Yeah.
So I don't really want to spoil everything. But
No, definitely don't, especially if you're going to continue it. But
yeah, it was cool. Like the players arrive at a space station where they're hunting a bounty, which is the bounty is the person who got escaped in the first mission.
Sweet.
So they're, pursuing this person, and it's like this refugee camp space station that they're like...
Awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool.
So now this fun. Is the one that you did Last War and Flames?
That's what we did. That's what we did at Adepticon. This time we changed it to OPR to keep everything like really simple.
Grimdark Firefight?
Yeah.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
Cool.
It was fun.
Dude, I really, you know what, now that you've mentioned that, it's like, fuck, like doing scenarios, like little day scenarios where you're just doing them wherever. You're like, oh, episode 3 will be this day. If you can make it, you can make it, but it'll be continuation of this story.
Yeah.
And then even posting like a battle report of what happened in that, and then it'll be like, stay tuned for episode 4, and then you just set up episode 4 on like the end of November. Whoever can make it can make it and come through here, or we're going to do it at Adepticon, or we're going to do it wherever, TMX. That's cool. That's a really cool idea.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole idea, like that Adam, like the whole End Transmission, like namesake of playing sci-fi. It's like meant to be continuation of narrative through multiple games, like
So
using different systems because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're just telling stories.
Dude.
And that was the
That's
whole
a lot
thing.
of fun.
So November, I'm going to run the third one, the third
Yep.
episode. Adam, I think, is going to run it at some other point. I can't remember what. He's going to Renegade, which is Nate Dungeon's event.
Oh, very neat.
So he's going to run episode 3 there, and I'm going to run it at Arcane Con. And it's like right
So
around the same
cool.
time. And I think we're going to put out like a little booklet that has like how you can run this stuff. Like here's the missions, like as they lay out. Like run it for your players. Use whatever system you want, but like here's what we used.
It adds so much weight to a scenario too, because then you're not just coming up with like a one-off day where you're like, I'm gonna get all my boys together. Like your Last War. Remember when you did that cool Last War day?
Yeah.
Because then you could just do Last War Part 2, but it doesn't need to be the same cast and crew.
Yeah.
It could be whoever can make it today. This is the day I'm planning to do that scenario part 2.
And if you make it,
bring
that's
your
sick.
Stuff.
But yeah, it's not needed.
Yeah, and then same thing, part 3, and then different people can come, or this people from part 1 can come to part 3, and they just have to like catch up.
Yeah.
Oh, what you missed on last episode, dude. That's a lot of fun. Now I'm like really thinking about all the cool things we could do with that.
And when we did OPR, I cooked up a bunch of like, from playing with like Brian in his OSE game, like for role playing, he uses like a morality scale. Like you roll dice to determine like
some Fable shit.
No, it's like disposition, like how they feel about you. So like we came up with this thing where like you had blip tokens you remember the blip tokens from the first episode where it would turn into like a monster.
Yep.
This time I wrote it up where it was like you interact with like you flip the token over and it could be a bounty hunter or a merchant, and like then you'd roll a dice and it's like they're either friendly, neutral, or hostile. And like that would determine, like the merchant, if you got good, he would give you like a health pack and be like, "Oh yeah, here you go. I'm looking to help you out." And then the bad one would be like, "Oh, he rips you off for 10 credits." But then you put the model there, so there's a little merchant model, and it's like, "Oh, well, you can like shoot him. You could like do whatever. You can interact with it however you would want to." But that each character that you could roll on these little like blip tokens of a result could have like negative or positive effects.
Oh, dude, that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was really cool, and it allowed for like role playing in a wargaming.
Yeah,
it's
pretty
a cool
easily
way
too.
Of testing out new mechanics and stuff too. And if it sucked in episode 1, well, in episode 2 you don't use it and use something different.
Yeah.
You know what I don't see a lot in war games are like health packs. Like you can pick up health packs.
It's not realistic, bro.
Well, you'd be like first aid kit or something. I don't care about it.
You get fucking plasma blasted, you're just gonna health pack it?
Well,
Yo,
all I'm
stim
saying,
packs,
okay,
Fallout,
okay.
that's just real.
All I'm saying is your guy has 1 health left. And
Yeah.
he's struggling. He's only got 1 wound ticker left.
Yep.
Like running over, like breaking away, not getting shot by somebody you're breaking away from, and then sprinting for a health pack, and then like diving on it, and then turning around and shoot. Like that's cool. I think that's cool.
I also think that's cool.
Thank you, Steve. God damn it, Gage is just over here being like lame.
It's not realistic.
It's not realistic.
You know what we need?
in
we need some-
BattleTech?
We need some Fortnite 28. That's what we need.
Yo.
You've said this multiple times, but a battle royale war game
fuck.
where you just have one character in it, and there's just like 30 other people.
Yes.
Just keeping track of turns would be a really
How do you all stand
nightmare.
around the table?
Who cares?
You stand on each other.
You
that's
use
pretty
activation
important.
tokens.
If it's not your turn, you have to walk away and sit down.
Yeah, get out of here.
Sit in your chair.
It'd be cool to do that, but somehow have like multiple activations. Like, let's say there's 15 people playing, you have like 5 people going at once, and then
That's-
the next.
That sounds awful.
But
No.
all you would have to do
That's
is
how
just
Curtis does his big games.
sweet, Curtis. You rock. Thank you for saving.
What if
my
you're all
life
like
here.
right next to each other?
Doesn't matter.
Well, you get a number, like counting off in gym class. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2,
Oh.
and then all the ones go.
No,
And it's one
that's,
turn.
That's you don't even
You can't
need
do
that
that
much.
and you
no,
roll,
you can
move,
for sure. But I'm
things are
saying you don't even
happening.
need that much. You know what I mean? If
What do you
Steve
mean?
and I are sitting, if there's fucking 20 people at this table, and Steve and I are right next to each other, and I see Steve, if Steve's like, "All right, my guy is charging your guy,"
Oh yeah, you could resolve. That's how
Yeah.
apocalypse games have to get.
but that's what I'm
resolved.
saying. Yeah. Then my guy goes, "Okay, well, I'm fucking you up. I'm going to meet you halfway, or I'm going to go. I'm scared. I'm going to go the opposite way."
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like, "Well, I was going to move there." It's like, "Well, no, I'm going to move there." It's like, no, it's a war game. You're going to fight anyway.
Yeah.
Wait, break that down one more time.
So what Steve was saying was like, what if 2 people are trying to go at the same time, but they're like interacting? I was saying it doesn't really matter
No,
because
totally.
you're having that conversation of saying, well, if you're going to go behind the building, I know you're going behind the building, and my guy is trying to chase you. So
Yeah.
I'm going to go behind the building too. So it's a conversation rather than going, okay, I move behind the building, your turn. And
That's
I go,
more. It's more interesting than going.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
go, you go.
Yeah.
Is going simultaneously.
And that's the thing. And that's, I think, how, I mean, I'm sure he'll chime in, but Curtis gets away with these 20-player games.
How do you do it when like 2 players are near each other, and if you're doing it simultaneously, but like you don't have a turn order? It's like, oh well, I want to run away. I don't want you to charge me, but I want to charge you.
You're
And like
chasing.
depending on turn order, it would matter of who gets to do. You know,
Not I mean, if you think about it in the same way of like real time, right?
Exactly.
I'm seeing you fucking Braveheart run at me.
I'm running. Yeah. No, I think it works.
Yeah.
It works better than being like, I stand there and watch this guy and hope that he doesn't make his charge at me.
Yeah.
It's more realistic
It's
to go
reactive.
simultaneously.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's reactive.
But
Because then at the
then
same
how
time,
do you ever get into combat if you're like, I don't want to fight you?
well, if you're
Get
playing
good.
a war game, if someone is just not wanting to fight, then their model probably shouldn't be on the table anyway.
Yeah. Then you got to flank him. Have 3 of your models kind of close this guy
Right.
in, and you're just like kind of he's backing himself into a corner. He goes into a building to run away, and you guys all just stand around the building.
Right.
It's cool. That's actually pretty neat because then it opens up a whole range of, if you charge me, I'm going to run away. And then I guess then you can get into a stalemate where it's like, well, you go first.
Yeah.
Because then you're like, okay, I'm going to charge you. And then you run away or whatever. So it could go back and forth.
I think it works. I think you need an impartial or somewhat partial GM who is like,
Yeah, absolutely.
this is cooler,
Yeah,
so we're going to do it
yeah.
like this.
It also, I'm sure it comes down to, I know in Curtis's games at Boyle, for example, because we kind of did it when we were there, kind of like that, but it was a little different because it was one side versus another side. But I know at Boyle, there's more shit you can do. Like you can go over to the merchant, you can interact with that. He was like had slave traders and shit.
Yeah.
So it's like, if all you're relying on is like someone charging you and then fighting back, I'm sure you could probably get into that situation, like you're saying. But
I'm just thinking from like war game,
narrative,
whatever
Yeah.
bullshit.
this is way more like, it feels way more RPG,
absolutely, yeah.
which is cool.
Yeah.
But that's why we did the blip thing with like you interact with all these different kinds of NPCs because it allows for like the role playing element and like, well, can I grab this guy and use him as a hostage? Oh, can I get this guy to work with me? Like, would he help me out right now in this gunfight? Like that kind of stuff.
So would Fortnite 28,
Oh god.
would that be... No, because actually now that
I
we're
think
like,
Fortnite
now that
28
we're
is a cool idea.
Yeah, now that we're talking about this, a Battle Royale game seems
I was going to say, it
possible.
doesn't need to be Fortnite.
No, but it's just like whatever. It's funny to call it Fortnite
yeah,
28.
If
the
it's-
mentality of it.
If it's Fortnite, though, then we get like real stupid shit.
well,
like,
we're not talking like
I'm paying up
that.
Master Chief.
I'm using Fortnite as like a placeholder for Battle Royale 28. We want to
Okay.
be called Battle Royale 28. Would that make you feel better?
Yeah, that's
anything.
Okay,
there's.
I
know
want to
you
play
don't-
Wolverine though.
I know you don't play games like
Yeah.
on a crazy level like we do, but there's a million BRs.
Okay, well,
You know, it's,
But I'd
it's
like the idea.
disrespectful.
I like the idea of there being tokens. You go up and you interact.
That's
with
what
it,
I
and it's
mean.
like, oh,
That's cool.
This is a
Real
item.
video game stuff.
You flip it
real
over.
stupid shit like GoldenEye. You're picking up your fucking guns as you move around the map,
and
it's random.
it's like a
shit.
little token. Yeah, you have to run over it, and
Yeah.
then then there's like little health packs.
It's the
and you're
question
running
block
around.
from Mario Kart.
Yes.
It could be anything.
Oh yeah, I
It's
like
pretty
that.
neat.
I gotta
Yeah.
bring that fucking game.
If
in.
anyone goes out and writes this game after hearing this,
already
I
exists.
will sue you.
We talked about it last episode.
Did we?
I already own it.
What is it?
Frag.
That's a stupid name.
I gotta-
Battle Royale is way
It's
cooler.
old
I gotta
game.
bring. I
Frag's
gotta bring
old,
it in.
right?
Yeah, kind of. I gotta bring it in.
They're both bad names.
Yeah. I'll bring it in. We'll play it, and then we'll make it better.
All right.
Yeah, no. Let's play this. We'll cook on this for a little bit because that sounds pretty. fun.
While
Oh, yeah.
talking about your game, though, were there any cool moments? Any cool players?
Yeah.
Anyone stand out?
I believe it was Austin.
Yeah. Eobi.
Eobi. So the ring station map was Adam made a bunch of really cool terrain and tiles, like 1x1 tiles, and all
The circle one.
So
Yeah.
we set it up like a big ring circle because it was a ring space station.
Yep.
And like throughout the game, I don't think people like directly understood that like oh, you're floating in space, you could jump across this or shoot across this.
Oh, cool.
But like in the last final match, I'm pretty sure it was Austin jumped over the ring with all of his movement to like attack someone, and that was like that's pretty cool.
Oh,
moment.
hell yeah.
That's
Floated over there and punched him.
Yeah,
Do you have any like real newbies?
like in general for gaming,
Yeah. Because it was cool. I mean, like
it seemed like everyone there were war gamers in some capacity.
Okay. I mean, obviously, we don't fucking know everybody, but seeing the pictures, I was like, oh, these people look so far removed from like our friend circle or
Yeah.
like people we would know.
Yeah.
It was cool to see that.
No, I think almost everyone like was. I mean, it's a war game convention, so you have to have
Yeah.
some kind of like knowledge of it. But yeah, everyone was really cool. Everyone was really nice. At one point, Adams was running a demo for two dudes that definitely looked like military guys.
Yeah.
and they were
Sketch
definitely
fucking
40K
hated
guys. They loved it. They were like, we were gonna play BattleTech. We're just gonna play this now.
That's it.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah, take that, Catalyst.
Yeah.
Still like your models though.
Yeah.
Can't wait to wake up with somebody with a mask over me,
Yeah.
a gun pointed to my head.
Well, one dude,
Catalyst shirt on. It just has a name tag.
Still has the
it's a full coverall suit.
Yeah. No, they have sick button downs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's cool.
One of those just ring your
need
doorbell at 3 a.m.
Yeah. Yeah.
bed shaking at night.
Yeah. No!
It's been me the whole time.
No! Catalyst Games!
Went back in time, full circle here of all the topics.
This
Just
was
to
also
take you
this is a
out.
Patreon episode.
Yeah,
we were talking
yeah.
about ghost stories. Head on over to patreon.com/Hive Scum if you want to hear that episode. A real ghost story episode. Like they all are. I feel like all the Patreon episodes are just talking about creepypasta stuff, talking about video games, or talking about
We could have a
ghost
whole separate
stories,
podcast
movies.
about that.
and movies.
Yeah.
Which shout out Stargate.
Yo, shout out.
Finally.
Shout out Stargate, dude. I'm on it, dude.
I'm about to get a Stargate tattoo. That's
Yo,
gonna be my
I'll,
next one.
I'll join you. I saw it once.
All right.
Today.
You just get the Eye of Ra tattooed on you.
Yeah, dude. I'll get right on my wrist, brother.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Some dude showed up with a steel riff max that he magnetized to have every different loadout from the rulebook.
That's crazy.
That's really
That's
cool.
crazy.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy to see.
Dude, magnetizing anything. I've never magnetized a mini before.
It's stupid. I've lost the bits that are magnetized.
Yeah, that's always
more
the
often.
problem. I did it with my Sentinels back in high school. Couldn't tell you where any of those pieces are now.
Yep. I did it with Plague Marine special weapons because, like, you know, back in the day, you could have one special weapon guy in the unit. He had like a melt-a-gun, a flamer, a couple different guns, and I lost all of them. I think the only one I have still is the plasma gun, but I don't have the guy anymore.
They're stuck to the inside of a radiator
Yeah,
cover
probably.
somewhere.
Bounced away and it just got stuck to something. Boo. Berserker Works Bill had everything magnetized on his mechs, right?
Yeah,
For Mech 28.
it was real crazy.
It felt so good. The nice
Were they-
snap.
Yeah, they were magnetized and they were able to be articulated.
Yes.
Like ball joints and
Yeah,
stuff.
the Lego
Insane.
ball. Yeah.
Insane. What a guy.
Yeah.
What a guy.
Now we got a topic for today. Steve, you're done?
Yeah, the only other thing I've done is
Oh, sorry.
almost finished my book, but Between Two Fires, everyone should go read it.
Oh, nice. Yes, I want to read it, but I can't find a pirated copy.
I'll send you mine because mine
Oh,
is
really?
pirated for the Kindle.
Dude, please.
I will.
I was searching for one. Oh,
There's
this
also
is
an
great. I'll
audiobook
read it next.
version read by the author on YouTube.
Yeah, but then I
I'm
have
just saying,
to,
I'm just saying.
I have to have the app open. I have to have my thing open.
Get the Chrome app. The Chrome app on your iPhone, you can
This
play
doesn't
the
sound
video.
like a legitimate problem.
Yeah, you
This
just
is
sound-
Terry trying to reduce screen time.
No, it'll overheat my phone. My phone's really old.
Oh my
It's got a
God.
thing that's
Gonna
like
overheat, bro.
no, the battery is. It's like your battery is
Oh
really
my
poor health.
God.
But I'm letting it die, and then I'm getting
my
a flip
phone
phone
sucks.
after. I'm getting
My
a
phone,
damn flip phone.
The
Yeah,
battery health
You
is
pay
fine.
more, just so you know.
I don't care.
My mom paid a lot more to get a flip phone.
Yeah.
Stop.
Costs more than an iPhone.
No, the plan. You have to pay. You have to pay an
yeah.
upcharge because it's an older phone.
That's so.
Which makes
dude,
no sense.
it's just how they get you.
Yeah, of course.
Because we're all addicted to our screens like little sheep, dude, and they want
Oh
to keep
my
us
God,
hooked, brother.
dude.
I wanna
And
go
even
back
the
to
phone
T9
companies-
texting.
Yeah,
Like,
baby.
no,
I want you to have to call
no.
me to say like, "Hey, when do you want me to let the boys know that we can record the episode?"
No.
Do you want to make our lives
Yeah,
more annoying?
baby.
I like a
Yes.
phone call. More direct. I get an answer immediately. Either you don't answer the phone or I get to know my information. that
I
want.
almost never pick up my phone,
You're a
unfortunately.
fucking
So
asshole.
I know I'm the worst. I'm the worst. What can I say?
Anyway,
Anyways,
what's the topic?
What's the topic for
Do we-
today? To the listeners, we have a topic for you. It's really bad. We should fix that. We should somehow have some sort of topic from the pod. Listeners, chime in if you have an idea for the name of this segment. Anyways, the main topic.
The main topic.
What's the main topic for today, Gage?
I don't know who typed this. You?
Probably.
Okay. Well, it says we all have particular armies and factions we gravitate to.
Dude, this
First
sounds
off,
pretty good.
why is it that those factions are appealing to us, and what have we found that either makes the faction more interesting than it is at the surface, or what creative spins have we put on the official lore to make them more relevant to our interest?
Dude, you could tell that's 7 a.m., Terry, after
Yeah.
a nice little cup of coffee, because that sounds so good, and I could not
Yeah.
type that right now. That is very funny.
So
Yeah,
why
it's
are
re-
factions cool?
It's funny
and why we
that
like
you
them?
say that because I really thought out a great answer, but I know I'm not going to articulate it really well at this hour.
Yeah, but that's part of the fun of the episode is where you just sound dumb, and Steve throws things at me. Anyways, so we're gonna pick just one then.
You can pick whatever you want, brother.
So I wasn't
Listen.
even going to talk about one specific
Then
faction.
why don't you start us off because you might change our
Yeah,
answers
that's
with
well, that's
your
what
answer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
go
let me
ahead, Phil.
help you guys out here. So obviously, we're going to talk a little bit about Beastmen, but
Oh,
I know. I'm sorry,
Rest in power.
but it's broadly.
gone.
We're going to move a little bit into more of a broad discussion of what I like in a faction, and as you guys know, as the listener knows, I really have a lot of interest in the natural world, and I've always gravitated towards real, like bestial, monsters and that sort of stuff in fiction. And what I liked about Beastmen and the way that I interpret them is as less of a culture or society, but as a force of nature that is a sort of natural counterbalance to civilization.
yeah, hell yeah.
Sort
Beast
of like
chaos.
sort of a thing that sort of exists specifically just to, knock mankind down a peg.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Like nature sort of trying to reclaim,
Dude, hell yeah.
And other factions that I think are cool is any sort of like wood elves.
Yeah.
Anything that's super like nature sort of focused. Anything that's sort of kind of like has the themes of the natural world versus, civilized society.
Dude, I like that.
Yeah.
I have never put that much thought into probably any faction, let alone Beastmen.
No,
What's the thing? No.
Shut up.
So the reason
No, the only reason I'm saying that is because I look at Beastmen, I go, oh, Diablo 2 Goatmen, hell yeah. And then that's as far as my thought ever goes.
I think they probably were an inspiration for Diablo.
Oh, I'm sure.
But I also think that is the way that I interpret them. I think it maybe is kind of what the intention was, but I also think it's a major shortcoming because I think that as a faction, they don't lend themselves to interesting individual characters with motivations.
Right.
They have cool monsters. They look cool,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't think that. And that's I think in our campaign, I kind of struggled with writing characters with interesting motivations. But
I
I'm
think
also
Torbach's
just
sick.
honestly, as a person, just as a human being, I also don't understand people's motivations. As a person that is just like not very motivated in general. So I think
No, but I think you're right, where it's just like, it's so chaos-based and so nature-based that it's like, well, how could I have like a warlord, It's
yeah.
if it's representative of the natural world.
It's
how
true
can I
anarchy.
have a hero?
True anarchy. Yeah.
Yeah, which is sick.
They're the Antifa faction.
Anarchy 99.
Anarchy 99.
It was on my brain.
Oh, dude. Shout out Vin Diesel.
Shut up.
But I also
Triple
like
X.
the idea of like, depictions of nature's defenders in fantasy are oftentimes sort of like idyllic. Like I said, wood elves, which I like
Wood
that
elves
sort of
are
stuff
so
too.
cool.
But to have something that is the opposite of that is also sort of like defender of nature, but is evil, is like brutal, is gross and ugly. I think that's cool.
And I think it's more representative of like true nature.
Yeah.
Dude, that's sick. That's a great answer. Fucking Phil. Now I got to up my answer. You should have gone last. Damn. Anyways, who wants to go next?
You do.
Oh, fuck. I don't know. It's because I have... Okay, actually, I'll do the undead because honestly, it's probably my most organized army that I've come up with. Because I have orcs too, but...
Why do we like the undead?
Well, the reason I got into making the undead army is because I never
You're
picked...
scared of skeletons
Because
and
I'm
you're
afraid
trying
of
to face
skeletons.
your fears.
That's it. That's my answer. I always, honestly, I go away from picking the coolest faction, and I don't know. This is something weird with my brain where I will immediately think of a choice of something I think is sick, and then I go, maybe that's too obvious of a choice. I have to be more of like a contrarian. Yes. I have to be like, well, it has to be more interesting than just they're cool dead guys.
I have really, really bad news for you. And this is straight from Nate Dungeon. Zombies are one of the best units in Age of Sigmar.
I'm not saying as far as, I mean, dude, how many games have I fucking played? Come on.
I'm just
I don't care if they're like good or bad, and I know that they are good though. But just from like a lore perspective and a lore background, I'm always like, oh, undead are so sick. That's like such a cool guy army. That would be so cool to have a sick undead army. And then I go, maybe it's too cool. Maybe I should go with the. I always want to pick the bench warmers. That's really what I'm saying. Is I always
Me too.
I always want to pick the guys who get kicked to the curb.
In everything I do.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's like I always. So I think I might have been talking to you about this before, but when I used to play World of Warcraft, I like to, I played a lot of alts, but any class I played, I always wanted to play whatever the shittiest spec was.
Yeah, I did the same thing, dude.
It's got to be like a subtlety rogue. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but you guys get it. That's like exactly what I'm
Survival
talking
Hunter,
about.
dude.
I literally, when they made it melee, I was like, let's fucking go.
Fucking best, dude.
Never got invited to dungeons.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we can't invite Phil, even though he's in the guild. The motherfucker plays subtlety.
So with Undead, I decided, you know what? Maybe this is a mistake. I always go the kind of benchwarmers route. And instead, let me try and really go the cool guy route. Let me try and lean in. And I'm so happy I did because, I mean, even though they're Soulblight Gravelords and they're very vampire focused, thinking about them as like an undead army, there is endless possibilities with that army.
The only thing I think that's... Okay, let me rephrase that to not be so mean to you.
Wow.
That's dumb.
No.
You're stupid.
Yeah, the only thing I find interesting about what you said, what I find interesting about that is that you are someone that is not using official anything in every avenue of your life. You know what I mean? You've always carved your own path.
Oh, thanks.
So for you
that's a sweet thing. That's not mean.
No, it was the way I was.
Well, we were going to say that was mean.
No, like I said, the only thing I found interesting about your statement, like your statement wasn't interesting, but what I'm saying is, for you to say, "Oh, well, I'm going to pick the coolest faction," but like you've done it your own way anyway.
Yeah, and I think that's what I liked about Undead, and that's why, it's almost like I picked it and decided to go into it, and originally was going to get like the Vanguard box or something, and I've just kind of found a way and like slowly built up this totally unique and interesting Undead army out of whatever I could really find. Yeah.
And I know you hate them.
No, I love them.
No, I'm saying the dirt men.
Oh God, dirt clod men.
Dirt clod men are sick.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think they're the best.
This is the problem when you do something and you're like, wow, this is so stupid. I'm going to throw it in the trash, and everyone around you's like, no, that's cool.
Well,
you're being dumb.
That's you. Everybody says it about your thing.
I think that's all of us. I think we're all our own worst critics.
No, I think the dirt clod men are cool. They're essentially walking dirt men that are just like made out of armature wire and covered in like texture paste. And their whole lore is that they are blood-soaked mud that are
just grave dirt
together into
cool.
The blood is reanimated.
Yeah, but I like Undead because it is, like I said, so just broad that then I can be like, okay, well, where do I want to head with this army as a whole? And while it's vampire focused and my guy is a vampire lord, his whole story is like necromancy is baked into it, and going full on zombies and full on like resurrected everything. It's just been such a cool faction to just play in and feel very boundless in what I can.
It's very it's like a very character based faction too, because you have so much, nameless, disposable bodies that are there only to serve the characters.
Yeah,
So,
it's kind of
it's
opposite
more
of Beastman.
It is, yeah. It's more of a role playing army.
Yeah.
Than
damn, I never thought about that. Damn,
Yeah.
that's true.
Yeah, and I think all the, at least for Age of Sigmar, but I would imagine in wargaming in general, all undead factions kind of play like that.
And maybe that's where like I'm at with Skaven, where I'm like, I feel like very unenthusiastic about the whole army is I don't have like anybody playing any sort of leader role. There's nobody. It's just a bunch of troops.
I think you got to wrap your head around that, though.
Yeah.
Like, because in the Skaven hierarchy, there's usually like a lead rat that is like the smart one that's...
But they're all fucking insane backstabbers.
Yes.
Like every Skaven hates every other Skaven.
Yeah, which is sick.
Yeah.
That's cool. I don't know. I'll figure that out. But yeah, that's why I picked Undead. You know, that's why Undead would be my favorite.
I think I have a 7th edition Skaven book. I'll just let you have.
All right.
Like a codex.
What happened? Is it the one that I gave you?
No, I got
one from you.
I gave someone a Skaven.
That's me. I have that
Oh,
one.
just read the fucking book then.
That's
Yeah, I mean,
that's
I
not
read the
7th
book.
edition. That's like that's I think the first Skaven book.
I don't want to just pick like, you know, Lord Queek out
Well,
of
no,
it and
but
be
get
like,
some
"That's
ideas
my
about
guy."
what's going
No,
on.
but read about like what the characters are
Yeah,
like.
yeah,
Read
yeah.
their
No,
motivations.
totally. That's a good idea. That's a good idea. You guys are right
Get
on.
you in the headspace of what's
Learn about the
Skaven on.
Council of 13.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, Skaven's an army I never really delved into the background lore of.
I
don't
like
really know shit about them.
I like that they feel very unique to Warhammer. You know, everything else is like pretty much a trope,
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, for real.
and I like that Skaven.
That I
feels
always think that
baked
that's
in.
one of the things that sort of led to the failure of Warhammer Fantasy was that compared to 40K, which, well, you know, all of 40K's stuff is derivative. It is derivative, but mashed together in a way that makes it feel unique. Whereas Warhammer Fantasy just always felt like a Tolkien
ripoff.
ripoff, yeah.
See, I never felt that way. I always felt like Warhammer was its own world, its own thing, and never like Lord of the Rings did not come to my mind when I looked at Warhammer.
Interesting. It
Yeah.
definitely does for me. I feel like.
I think because the distinct, like all the orcs do not look like Lord of the Rings
Well,
orcs.
I mean,
Like,
yeah,
there's
I
nothing-
think, you know, obviously they
Yeah, but also, are you comparing this to movie?
No, I'm comparing.
the art. I would say
I mean,
certainly
I
the
had
art style
the
is certainly
old,
different.
Like cartoon
but
movies, like I've had books with illustrations. Like,
Yeah.
none of that stuff makes me think of Warhammer,
Yeah.
or vice versa, like at all. You know, that's just a me thing, maybe, but
There's definitely some things that I think are different. Like obviously, the Empire of Man is a totally sort of like a different level of technology from like sort of the forces of good or whatever you fucking call them in Lord of the Rings. But I'm pretty sure that's because Games Workshop, when they're making Empire, were also trying to sell them as like they wanted people to buy them to also use them for like Napoleonics
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Interesting. That's
So
kind
they
of
were
cool.
so that they're more of that what is it, like 15th, 16th century look, you know?
Cool.
Renaissance.
GW making models to be used in other games is a
Dude,
crazy
yeah.
concept.
That's I mean, you know.
Miniature agnostic back in the day.
well, that's like
Yeah,
what are
baby.
the Stellans.
What's that?
Like the Estellans, like they had all these different ranges of empire that you could get.
I don't know what Estellans is.
Those are
They're
like
like
the
the
Spanish
Spanish ones,
conquistadors.
Estallions?
Is that how I've heard
Oh,
it
damn.
pronounced the
Yeah,
other
I don't
way?
know.
So you, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't want to get into another argument over pronunciation.
No, it's
on
cool.
this goddamn podcast.
But let's save it till the end of the podcast to get into that argument. Now, do
You
either
need to
of
look at the letters in the word and
Well, whatever,
sound
dude.
it out.
do either of you guys have a sci-fi answer? Or are we all going to just talk
so
about
it's
our
actually
AOS?
no. It's funny that you said it because I was thinking about that, and that is one of the reasons that it took me such a long time to get into 40K, and I like sci-fi, but I don't always connect with it in the way that I do fantasy because a lot of, at least in wargaming, a lot of science fiction doesn't really explore like themes of the natural world.
Oh,
in
yeah, true.
wargaming, at least,
No.
definitely not in Games Workshop games. You're just fucking fighting in like a wasteland all the
Yeah.
time, and there really isn't a sort of representation of the natural. You know what I always thought would be fucking funny is so you know how every 40K faction is sort of a play on a different sci-fi trope.
Yeah.
So you know how they have the what are they fucking called? The Eldar that like fled and like live like in the jungle now. You know what I'm talking about? So
No, it sounds sick,
in the
though.
history of 40K, like when the Eldar like they're all their worlds like were destroyed by chaos or Slaanesh or whatever, and they all live on craft worlds now, which are these sort of like synthetic floating world ships. But some Eldar fled to like virgin worlds and just sort of like live among nature.
Oh, cool.
And I always thought Exodites, that's what I was thinking. Exodites. So like the art is like Eldar riding T-Rexes, but I always think it'd be really funny if they introduce them as a faction, and like I said, all their stuff is based on existing tropes. Went full fucking Avatar, like Na'vi, like with
that'd be kind of
Eldar
sick. I'm surprised
Exodites.
they haven't done that.
I feel like I've definitely seen like an old White Dwarf kit bash where it's like
Eldar Rider
Eldar
on
on
the
a,
fucking
like a cold one. Yeah,
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
They did that because any existing art of Exodites, that's pretty much what it is. It's just like an
Right.
Eldar Guardian riding a raptor.
Yeah.
That's cool too, because then they can still mirror their fantasy.
I feel like that's the closest thing to like a nature faction in 40K, and it's not even like a real, it's like a lore faction.
Dude, you got to make that. You got to bash that.
Yeah,
I
Death
know.
World Catachans.
Yeah, that's right. I was thinking that you might pick Catachans.
For my answer,
Yeah.
I really can't explain why. I think it's just nostalgia for why I'm so drawn to them.
Yeah.
I think when I was a preteen looking at Catachans, I was like, hell yeah, I want to be like them.
Yeah, baby.
I could not want to be anything further than that now. Like that's not who I am. The reason I like Gene Stealer Cult though is because it's that it's kind of like that unknown of like I like how human they are,
Yes.
but like just something's a little off with them. You know what I mean? Like there's like some kind of alien tinge on everything.
Totally.
And I haven't like I've purposely tried to not use the like real like the acolytes where they're like just fucking Tyranids that are like walking on two legs,
Yeah.
and more so keep it as like a military, like a real world type military faction, but with just a hint of alien influence in it. And I don't really know why. It's just that's what I'm drawn to.
Well, I think-
My favorite thing about their aesthetic was just like the super like John Carpenter-ness
Yeah,
of it
yeah.
all.
Real Ghosts of Mars.
But to kind of what half of the answer was, I hate the fact that they are just like, oh, they're a mining camp.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
I
like I
hate that
said,
they
literally,
throw tropes like that.
it's fucking Why am I drawing a blank? It's they're just like super Total Recall. Like
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. Which I understand because that's how they're trying to portray them as just like these fucking guys that are working 20 hours overtime a day
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like
they don't even have time to
Yeah,
recognize.
yeah.
But the
they're
idea is that
morphing.
they're like sleeper cells among the laborers.
right,
but,
yeah.
I think you can only really in like a model range, you can only really what are they gonna
exactly.
do?
Yeah, exactly. They needed to be different.
It's the
They
same
need to
thing
sell.
where like
yeah.
like the guard, like most people are playing Cadians because otherwise you are going to have to either get a third party thing or track down some like hard to find like metal or
Yeah.
this, that, or the other thing. Whereas like you could do gene stealers that instead of mining are I don't know. What's another busy town job?
Bureaucrats.
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
Well, no,
library.
not bureaucrats. The point is that they're all
They're
laborers.
laborers. Yeah,
The carpenters.
yeah.
Yeah, the carpenter gene stealer cults.
One thing though that when I was like trying to figure this out, I think it's Inferno magazine. I don't remember which other offshoot of White Dwarf it was. It's like one of these short run zines, but there's a short story about a gene stealer cult landing on like a feudal world, like a medieval world.
Oh, nice.
And I've always, probably a year ago when I read that, it's been like one of the things I wanted to touch on of just having, and I made like 2 guys for it for like the Rogue Trader thing, but I really want to just have like Empire guys with like a fucking gene stealer, like third arm or like, something like that.
You could do that.
I know I can, but I think it's, well, 1, it's time, but 2, it's like I said, it's the same aesthetic of like, it's still something normal that I'm used to, like these human guys, but there's something just a little off, something in the unknown, something weird, like
Kind of fucked up head.
yeah, like
Yeah.
a Colorado space type shit. You know what I mean? Like
Totally. And I like that you don't go full freak with it.
yeah,
Or you don't, because GW is so heavy handed with that because they want to separate it entirely from Imperial Guard and stuff.
Right,
You know, they want it to be very visually different.
Right.
But the best Gene Stealer cult armies are just like Imperial Guard armies with different heads.
Yeah, yeah.
And they look sick.
Dude, I don't know if you guys saw the new Brood Brothers kit from like a week
Kill
ago.
Team?
Yeah. They did such a good job. They're
really?
just Cadians, yeah, but
Yeah, see?
but it's like new sculpts of like a weird third arm or like the
Okay,
head's
cool.
crazy fucked up.
Yeah, Cadians with just like really heads that are like 15% too big.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Oh, sick. That's
Which
cool.
like using my original Elysian drop troops, those guys, and then putting the Gene Circle heads on them, they're just like real Mars Attack looking scale.
These are pretty
Yeah.
sick.
Yeah, they're fucking awesome.
Is these guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, they look just
Oh,
slightly
see?
fucked up.
Yes.
But
totally.
but still like a military like
Oh, yeah.
those look like specialists, like a SEAL Team 6, but like what if SEAL Team 6 had like a little
SEAL Team
alien?
6.
Yeah.
Well, it's like I like
Very gaunt looking.
Yeah, yeah.
if you can remove the goofiness that I don't know, because this is
Oh, who are these
I like
guys?
I like orcs a lot, but orcs are just too goofy.
Yeah,
And I
I get
loved
that.
them because they were goblins, but when you take all of the tough guy stuff out of orcs and just put a bunch of silliness in there, it's really like, oh, it's
Yeah.
funny for a little while, and there's certain moments where my mood is right, and I'm like, I love silly orcs, but most of the time I'm like, I can't take these guys fucking seriously.
I hate comedy in my
That's
war
that's
This
why my fantasy army, I'm trying to just push the Black Orcs because they're the only ones that I
Yeah.
think are believable. They're just like grabbing random pieces of
freaking
fucking
guys,
steel,
yeah.
beating the shit out of it, and going, "This is a helmet now." And like
Savage orcs are pretty sick though.
those are pretty sick, but those have to be done pretty well because they unfortunately model them like fucking idiots. Like their Savage Orcs are like losing their mind, and then you'll have one that has a sculpt of him like picking his nose.
Yeah, you just don't use that guy.
But that's what I'm saying. Like kind of to Terry's
Yeah.
point, where you're just like, I get the idea of this faction, like especially in 40K, where it's like imagination is their power.
Yeah.
They can easily be like who's the big mech guy? I'm fucking blanking on Gazgul himself,
yeah.
right? The evolution of that model being like silly pirate guy to like now he's just a fucking like ass beater in
Yeah.
a fucking mech.
On like 120 millimeter base. or something.
Yeah. That's what I want from orcs.
Well,
Yeah.
and that's the thing too is I feel like anytime you read a narrative, like an actual thing out of the book or any of the books with orcs, it's not goofy.
No, it
it's like
isn't.
they are fucking scary.
Yes.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
And that's what I want. And that's why it's like I was swapping like the Marauder bodies and then just putting like goblin heads on it too. Because it's like sometimes the faces like are more, I don't know, they look more angry as goblins.
Yeah, yeah.
And like when you could just get a big buff dude's body in there that's not just like arched all weird and shit and just holding a gun awkwardly out in front of
The
him. I'm
twerking
like,
orcs that are shooting guns in the air pose. Yeah.
I'm
Dude,
like,
orcs
this
have never
looks great.
gotten love. In the sculpt section,
Yeah.
they never got any
No.
love.
No, except for Cruel Boys, which I really like.
Cruel boys are
I think
cool.
the Iron Jaw ones are great.
I think so. Yeah.
Which those are the AOS ones?
Yeah,
But once again,
they're
those
just,
don't
they're black orcs.
they're
Yeah.
black orcs. They're just
Yeah.
big pissed
It's
off
just the
orcs.
black orc
yeah.
faction.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they just stand them up
Which-
straight. And
Are they
not
still a thing?
Yeah.
arched back.
Did they cut
yeah.
them?
Iron Jaws?
No.
No, those exist.
No,
yeah.
they've got a bunch of new kits.
They did cut
They
some.
cut Savage orcs though.
They
right?
cut,
They
Savage
got
orcs
rid
are
of
just
Savage,
gone.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
because it's like Cruel Boys are basically Savage Orcs. I get it.
But even same point though, Cruel Boys. Yeah, they have a little bit of goofy aesthetic,
Yeah,
but none of them are depicted as like stupid.
exactly.
Yeah,
They're literally the cunning
Yeah, they're
side of
yeah,
Gork and
yeah,
Mork.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
which I think is cool that they've finally done the two branching paths
Yeah.
in such a defined way. Like the Cruel Boys have that like skulking, tricksy orc,
Right, right.
and then you have these big ass,
Iron Jaws that are just
Yeah.
brutal. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, you have the Gorka, brutal but cunning, and then Morka is cunning but brutal.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got. Don't worry, I'm in there.
This is a
yeah.
theology lesson.
Yeah.
Listen, come on, you guys never heard that?
No, I've heard.
No,
Okay, I
no.
was
Why
gonna
don't you
say-
tell me more about
Oh
it?
my god. Anyways, Steven, Gage, did you finish your answer?
Yeah. Mostly.
What was the
I
song
like
again?
that you had
My only other point though that I put in my notes app is the Space Marines don't do it for me because there's too many factions and they all feel mid as shit. And to your point of like, I don't know, 2 episodes ago of why Custodes shouldn't exist because they're too powerful. That's why I like them. Because if I'm using a Space Marine, I want it to be like
a Space Marine,
a fucking ass beater end all.
Give Space Marines the fucking custodes profiles, and let's just fucking move along.
Yeah,
that would be smart.
But that's what I would want from a huge fucking guy that's towering over an Imperial Guard guy.
Yeah,
which is funny because like Space Marines don't even do that.
No,
like the models don't even depict that.
Yeah, they do.
No.
They do now.
They
now
do.
that they're scaled
Primaris,
up.
Yeah,
but still.
But even then,
That's the only thing that they put out now.
Well, but I'm talking
old
for the
stuff
past
might as well
30
not exist.
years.
Yeah, but it's 2024, baby.
the future is now.
The future's
it
now.
is.
The past doesn't exist.
Yeah.
There's only the now.
Yes. The eternal now.
Yes.
It's eternally now.
It's eternal.
Oh
now.
God, no. Steve, what is your What is your go-to?
I'm like, well, wait, let me guess what Steve's answer is because it's not ogres. It's Empire? No. Yeah, Empire?
You're not gonna guess my answer. It's actually 40K.
Oh, it's 40K. Good. I'm glad we got two sci-fis and two fast.
Let me think
I
of
had
all
something
of,
for- I had
all
something.
of the 40K armies that Steve has played since I've known him.
There's been a lot. I have one for both.
Would it be Tau? Somebody said Tau.
My guess is Tau.
I would guess so. It's 40K. What would Steve play besides Tau? What have I ever seen him play?
He had a big orc army.
Okay.
Played
I
Space
played you
Marines.
with the orc.
Yeah,
army.
you did.
Could be
you guys did
orcs. Is it
Green Tide,
orcs?
right?
That's not orcs.
You had Blood
The thing is, I
Angels.
have answers for like every faction.
know.
I
Yeah,
have
Yeah,
played.
same. I mean, I think there's a cool way to spin any faction.
Yeah.
In my head, I have a head cannon for everything. But go ahead.
Yeah.
No
What
more
is
this
it?
stupid
I
guessing
can't.
game.
I can't guess. I'll be
We're
here all
wasting
day
our
trying to think. Wasting the listeners' time.
Yeah, it is Tau because that was like
Oh.
the big fucking. That was my 7th edition army, and I always thought they were so cool with the big mech suits.
This guy with mechs, huh?
Dude, I fucking mechs are cool. Nothing better than
Did you
a
see the
mech
Jennifer
suit.
Lopez movie?
Dude, I swear to God, I said something about it in the group chat and got fucking crickets.
even
But
know
yeah,
what you're
it's
talking about.
literally Jennifer Lopez piloting a mech, and the movie's called Atlas.
Atlas.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I fell asleep in it
cool.
last
It's a BattleTech
night,
movie.
but I'm an hour and a half in. It's pretty good.
Oh, it's a movie that exists right now.
Oh yeah.
There's no
It's
way
on
that it's
Netflix.
good.
It's definitely not good.
I'm gonna watch it tonight.
It's watchable.
Yeah.
But there's a half hour that could just be cut because it's just like
How far in is it so I
than
can
that.
know where to skip?
You said Jennifer Lopez?
Yes.
Yes.
J-Lo.
J-Lo.
Jenny from the block.
Jenny
No
from the block
way.
is piloting a mech.
That's
Ben Affleck
cool.
is
It's an anti-AI movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Just watch it. It's not
Netflix
good. But
movies are so fucking stupid.
like I said, there's a 30-minute sequence where it's just like the AI is talking to J-Lo and J-Lo's talking to the AI, and I'm like, none of this has anything to do with anything right now. It is just like, here's a funny quip because it's J-Lo and you want to see her do funny things.
Really? I didn't know she was known for comedy.
But she's not. But that's what this movie is just fucking forcing on you, and you're like, oh my God, please get to the
Steve,
killing.
why do you like Tau?
Yeah. Why do you like Tau so much?
I really like that. Well, this is when I looked at the question, it took me to a what I liked about them when I got into 40K
Yeah.
again, and it was like, oh, Tau are like the good guys, kind of. You
Oh,
know?
okay. Cool.
Steve wants to be the good guy.
Yeah, you
No.
like that about them. That's like
I thought
one
it
of the-
was like a cool trait
Yeah.
that everyone's so shitty, and then they're like, oh, like we're just trying to exist in this really fucked up world.
Yeah.
But they are kind of bad guys.
No, that's why that's why I think the Tau is good because it's just like these guys that are like, oh fuck, we have to kill this entire planet because they're bad, but does that make us the baddies? It's
Yeah.
We're gonna do it anyway.
We're gonna do it
Well, and also like
anyways.
the hierarchy system and like the whole like there's like a whole thing with the Farsight Enclave where they branch out because they don't want to like deal with what are they called?
Council
The
of 13.
Ethereals?
Yeah.
No, not the Council 13.
Ethereals,
Similar,
yeah.
similar. Yeah, like the whole ethereal cast and everything. I just thought mechs were really cool. I thought the whole idea of like these captains that rise up through the ranks and like, all right, here's your mech suit now. You're really cool. Here's your mech suit. And I just had like a lot of fun playing with Tau and like painting
Yeah.
my own scheme and like
I
coming
liked
up with
your
like
guys.
narrative stuff.
They do feel like tech-wise so different from most 40K. You know what I mean? Like obviously an orc gun, like a shoot-a-boy, is just like a fucking Space Marine. You know, like ideally,
Yeah.
and same as like an Imperial Guard guy, same as a Gene Stealer cult guy. They're all it's just like guy with gun, but like a Tau like railgun is like a totally different concept.
Yeah.
Are they still like really OP? The railgun guys?
I have no idea.
I know.
They were sick in 7th edition, and they were pretty sick in 8th edition, but that's about as far as I know.
The railgun thing was probably even 9th edition, technically. I don't even know. How deep are we into 10th edition?
I have no idea.
1 year.
Yeah, so
That's
we're
so
about a year
fucking
in.
crazy.
I don't know.
Over a year.
That is
No,
crazy.
it was last summer. It came out.
Yeah.
So things are getting their own codex now already.
Yeah.
Probably they've started.
Yeah, lots of things have gotten
Okay.
codex.
Gene Stealer cult cover looks so sick.
Dude, once again, I don't know. Like that's why I'm like, oh, dude, do I really want to buy another freaking book?
No.
Yeah, I get
No,
that.
I
Never
don't.
buy a codex again.
Never. There's like
Don't
no
support
point.
it.
There's no point. But I loved your Tau, Steve, to go back to that.
Yeah. I think it'd be really cool to do like kind of what Mike did. You go do a fucking Grimdark Tau where they're all beat up and like scrapped together.
Totally.
I think that'd be very cool. But I probably will never do that ever again. I will never pick up a Tau model ever again.
That's so not true. Listener, put money down on this right now.
Yeah,
yeah.
we're taking odds right now.
Listener,
Yeah.
Steve had a Tau army.
I had 2 Tau
No,
armies.
that's what I was going to say. He had a Tau army, sold it, and then just made another Tau army.
Yeah.
Dude, you got to just do a Tau army. Why don't you do one?
I don't know. I got enough shit.
No, but a Tau army would be very sick.
I'm putting money. What's today's date? The 7th.
Yeah, it is the same one.
I'm putting money down that by 6 months from now, Steve will have a Tau
So
project.
6 months from now, I will have a Tau project. I will forget about this after next week.
I know you'll forget about
yeah.
it tomorrow, motherfucker. You will have a Tau project in 6 months.
But the listener won't forget, and they'll
yeah.
say, "Oh, Steve, this is funny. You're painting Tau."
someone's making a timer right now. Listening to
Yeah,
this.
Cool. I anticipate that happening.
Well, I always think about like when there's you take good armies, or like in Tau's case, like good armies that need to be painted very well. I always think of Curtis's Bretonnian army,
Oh yeah, they're so fucking sick.
Yeah,
where
they're
it's like they
fucking
just
perfect.
look so dark and gritty, and it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, these are the guys that people paint. They take a long time to paint like perfect, as you know, Steve, because
Oh,
you
I
painted
know.
them very
They're
perfect.
done.
with
They're done.
the Rice Krispie treats basing that all the
Yeah.
weevils ate through.
Yeah, that's so funny. But so it'd be sick to think about Tau in that way, where instead of even them just being like grimdark Tau, where you're painting like dirty Tau, but you're like maybe even pushing them a step further. Like maybe they're Tau, but they're taking some technology that's not necessarily all smooth. Like they have like like they're fucking scrappers or some shit. They got some fucking weird
Yes.
goddamn like mech arm you've created. It's like
That's what I'm saying. Like put cables everywhere.
Yes.
Fucking, yeah.
shit patched together.
Yep.
Dude.
Yep.
Like that would be fucking sick.
Yeah, that would be very cool. That would be very cool. And hopefully I don't do that.
Clock starting, motherfucker.
Anyway, I did have another answer, and it was just like the Rogue Trader era, like Marines, where it's just Marines scrapped together with like we have defected from the Imperium, but we're like bounty hunters kind of shit.
Yeah, that's cool.
And
Rogue
it's from
Trader
the-
shit's cool.
That image of the 2 fucking Space Marines sitting at the table, just it's like it says like "kill you" on his fucking shoulder or whatever.
Yes. I love that old
It's
art.
so sick.
Now, did that sort of aesthetic just then end up becoming Imperial Guard aesthetic? Like they just were like, okay, we need to split these two things. And then it just
No.
became like tattooed army men are over here and big space knights are over here. And there's no like sick Space Marine with cool fucking...
Oh yeah, there's definitely no. I think like Death Watch is supposed to be that middle ground, and
Right,
That
but-
stuff sucks.
And yeah, they're still like they're not defectors, but they're
Yeah.
just it's just a different style of doing
What is
that.
what's the thing about with Death Watch? What's the lore there?
Are you a Death Watch? They're alien hunters.
Yeah,
That's
they're
it.
Xenos.
They take
Yeah,
guys
so-
from every
Xenos.
faction and
They take guys from every faction, and they're commanded by the
the Inquisition.
the Xenos Inquisitor. So
Ordos,
so
Xenos.
all of the different Inquisitor Ordos have a military arm.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the Ordo Xenos, the alien hunters, have the Death Watch.
Okay.
The Ordo Malleus, which is the demon hunters, have the Grey
yep.
Knights, and the
That's an army,
Ordo
yeah.
Hereticus, which is the witch hunters, have the Sisters of Battle.
Yeah, baby.
Okay.
Dude, sisters are so cool. One of these days, I would love to have a sick.
You've been saying that.
I know. Well, because they have the
All that
same
white
sort
hair.
of thing about like with gene stealer cults, where they're still a human-based force.
Yep.
And they still have all of these sick military ties.
Yep.
But then on top of that, they got fucking organ tanks.
Just insane.
Yeah,
like
it's
Just
crazy
like, oh, okay,
baroque.
this is fucking sick. A lot of flames and shit, dude. Like, it's cool. But
Take those Imperial penal colony guardsmen, just like full fucking get in front of us.
yeah, I would love to do
Gun to
one,
your
but
head.
that's like an army I need models for. I don't even have a single sisters.
with our 2 Rubbermaid buckets full of bits, we haven't come across many sisters bits.
No, like I keep an eye out for
The
'em.
thing is that they're a really popular army and their range is really new.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like the bags and bags of orcs that just show up every
Yes.
now and then. And
They just fucking fall from the ceiling.
yeah.
Seriously. Some of them
Orcs
literally.
and Space Marines and
Ian hands me a box today, new in box, Empire handgunners, and I'm like, I don't need these. He's like, they're just collecting dust in my house, brother. Here you go. And I don't want this. I don't want to build and paint them.
Dude, it is funny. You get far enough in this hobby, and that's just what happens. It's just like,
Yeah.
I need to get rid of this box. Is literally collecting dust. I have so much. There's nothing I'm going to do with this
I read
box.
that box of Space Marine scouts for like 10 years
Yeah.
that I was trying to get rid of.
Mm-hmm.
I think I got rid of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Probably.
Yes.
It's
Good.
somebody else's dust box.
I think you
now.
put
I probably took the sprues out and put them in one of the
You did.
boxes. or
Yeah.
something.
For King of the Kit Bash.
Oh, okay.
And somebody probably
Probably
used them.
no. I bet nobody.
Well,
used
we
them.
tried for the first King of the
Yes,
Bash
yeah.
at Dracula, and no one
wanted
them.
them. Yeah.
Dude, we were all so fresh making kit bashes then. I don't even remember what mine was. Oh, I do.
You made an orc
I
mech.
mean, yeah, that kit came out sick actually. Now
Yeah.
mention it.
Was it Gage?
It was
Wasn't
cool.
it you that had like a chariot dragged by slaves? Or something like that? I remember that.
I had the jet bike.
Yep.
That first jet bike.
Now, how many people were in the first King of the Kit Bash? Like 6.
5.
Yeah, it was something like that.
It
It
wasn't a lot.
so
I think
tiring.
it was us 3.
Dragging everyone from Magic. Like, hey, come look at these and
You have to
Yeah.
vote on this.
And now, how would the last one? How many people were in it?
like 40.
So
No,
cool.
there weren't 40.
No, there's probably more. So participating, I would say definitely more than 40. Ones that got voted on, probably around 40. Because there were people that showed up just to make shit and then
Threw it back in the bin.
well, yeah, that. But they didn't get voted on. They didn't do anything. They just took it with them, which is fine. That's
Yeah.
what it was there for. But
Hell yeah! Can't wait
Yeah.
till next year.
Fucking thieves.
Fucking thieves.
yeah, we got something cooking for next year.
We cooking.
But listener, you're gonna have to wait until next time.
Yeah.
Adios.
Bye.
Oh, we're saying bye. Bye.
Yeah, we're saying bye.
Oh, we're saying bye.
Tell
Phil,
me-
say bye.
Tell me
Good
what-
night.
Thanks for checking out this episode of Hive Scum. If you aren't already part of the community, check us out at the In Rust We Trust Discord, which you can find down in the description below. If you have questions you'd like to ask us, you can find our Instagrams down below as well. Or feel free to ask away on the Discord. We also have plenty of extra content and other perks available to our patrons on Patreon. So if you're interested in helping us keep doing what we're doing, then you can find that description below as well. Until next time, folks, keep it grimdark and keep it grimy. Peace.